Okay, so I'm going to put this first, and then the little bit I did yesterday with Andre, right? Just swinging around a sledgehammer like I'm a demolition dude, right? So I'm a little jittery today because of the physical activity that it requires to handle skill saws and swinging around sledgehammers that are like 40 pounds, right? You know, they're heavy, you know, they're not light things. And I'm going to work on these grapes because I've got more, right? And I'm just basically trying to make as many raisins as I can, right? Next year, I don't think I'm going to have access to as many grapes because the homeowner over there, his wife, is showing an interest in them, which makes me happy. Because if she shows an interest in them, then that means she cares, right? She cares to nurture them and to want to have them grow so that she can have some. And if she wants them, then she's more apt to protect them, people. That's the thing, right? And being that vine, there's two of them there, are so mature, right? They produce a lot on both sides if you set them up where they can grow, spread, you know, flower, and then they can hang. So she's already taken the initiative to repole them up, because after the people that were in that shack moved out, the owner, he ended up doing all those major plumbing repairs. I think what happened was when he bought that house, he didn't realize that it had major plumbing problems, and he pretty much rented it out as soon as he bought it. And then, I don't know, whoever first got it initially didn't stick around very long, and then they sublet it to somebody else, and then that somebody else ended up turning into a shack. So the landlord, the owner, never really got a chance to get in there and basically rip up the basement, because I seen what he did after the house was empty. I'm going back and forth doing whatever, right? Taking wood and things that he didn't want in his yard, right? Wood stumps and that type of stuff to build up compost in this yard. And so, of course, I was, you know, I wanted to see really what it looked like on the inside, because I never really got to see what it looked like on the inside. And when I went into the downstairs basement, you know, I mean, I knew there was plumbing problems over there because the people would complain. Because you have to remember, they were going back and forth between the little house and this house, right? But it required like a lot of work, and he ended up bringing a excavator, and he had to dig up his whole yard and run new pipes just to fix the problems that were initially there when he bought the house. I mean, it must have costed him, oh God, 20 grand at least just to repair that. And this is why I'm like nervous to move out, people, because oftentimes, you know, you rent these houses thinking everything's fine, but once you get on the inside, you find out that it's not, and then you have to, you either one, live with the problems, or two, you get inconvenienced with the problems, and then, you know, those problems have to be fixed, and they can create more problems, like out in the front when they broke the main line pipe for me and destroyed the front yard after 4 years of working in it, and just yada, 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 right? So anyway, the point is his wife reassured me that they're going to pipe up the grapevine is dying off now, so that next year it comes in very fruitful, right? And I'm telling them what to do. Like the husband, like, what are you doing with all these grapes? Making wine? And I'm like, no, I'm not making wine. You know, you can do this, 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 and this. There's at least 5 to 6 things that you can do with grapes. Right? And so now he's interested, because he likes raisins, people. So his wife might be making raisins next year. Right? He didn't even know what a dehydrator was. I said, well, you know, I think your wife knows what a dehydrator is, right? So whether that stops his buddy from trying to tear down all the houses and develop fucking whatever that people are going to go hungry in just so that dude can make money, I don't know, you know, because running fentanyl through the province keeps the economy, and more people are talking about it, people. I am not the only one. It is laundered money that upholds the BC economy, okay? The gross domestic product. It is laundered money, whether it's heroin sales, fentanyl sales, illegal organ harvesting sales, right? That's the only thing that's holding up the economy. And then they run it through the housing market. Does that mean that every homeowner that has more than one house is, participating in killing off the Canadian-born people with fentanyl so that they can get rich? No, obviously not, because a lot of their kids were born in Canada as well. It's just that trickle-down effect hasn't trickled down to their kids yet, because they have that little insulation of a middle class, I guess you can say, upper class, or, they're just hovering above the poverty line. When you drop below the poverty line, or you're just hovering in that area, then, you get subject to becoming targeted, and so do your kids. So, anyway, speaking of other people, the board director, right, and I'm so far behind on everything, people. And my son, I'm saying, please reformat this computer so I can get my printer going, because, I need my printer. Not like I have time to sit there and type anything right now anyway. But besides that point, this board director, he wants to bring in a program. He says it's not for immigrants, but it is kind of in a way, because what happens is, when they come, or they're doing something, he has to explain it to me. He has to explain it to me a little more, right? They go to his office, and he gives them a declaration of something. I don't know what it is. I just know that they're immigrant people from Fiji and wherever they come from, right? And the fee for this declaration is very expensive. So he wants to bring in something, right, where the fee for these people is not that expensive. Versus being $80, it might be $20, right? And he wants to do it under New Nations Unity. And I'm like, oh my God. Little does he know that I'm coming up with my federal registration in the next year and a bit. I don't know what it is. I thought I went through that, people. I didn't go through that. I went through a declaration of use in December of 18. If you remember, I was doing all those web pages and shit, right? Getting all panicky over that. And I paid for that, and it's fine, but I have to do the 10-year registration, which is going to cost me something like, oh God, I don't know, $2,400, if not more, in Canadian funds for the U.S., and almost $1,000 for Canada. So I'm looking at another $3,000 plus to re-register the trademark for the 10 years. It's just a formality, right, with these two federal governments. And I have no money. People. So I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to him about that. But we're registered right now. We haven't hit that point. And he really wants to bring in this program. And, as I'm going on, railing on, I'm going to put this first, right? As I'm going on, railing on about immigrants coming in and taking over the country, and it's become political genocide, obviously that's more in reference to those ones with the big money that just want to ravage, rip up communities, call themselves developers, and then don't stop and think about how the people that are going to live in that community are going to live in 20, 30, 40 years when the resources become even more depleted, people. It's cause and effect, okay? And as that happens, the people that are living okay today, I guess you can say, right? I mean, there's going to be causes and effects for them as well, but people don't ever think that far ahead. Unless, of course, there's greed involved. right? Just like with the illegal organ harvesting, right? They're not thinking about, well, it won't happen to my kids. They're thinking that, oh, well, there's a surplus of poor people that don't look like me, don't whatever, and it doesn't affect me as long as my kid can live, right? What do I care if that kid over there dies? When you're dealing with millions of dollars and you've got so much money that you can afford to spend $275 for a freaking liver or whatever it is that maybe that kid needs. And unfortunately, that's what society has come to, and that's what BC is all about. Laundering money. Doesn't matter if it's heroin money, it doesn't matter if, forget about, oh, it's only fentanyl. No, heroin has been run through this province for many, many years. Prior to that, it was methamphetamine when the BC Liberal government came into power. Like I said, all of a sudden, 2002, 2003, you had hundreds of kids running around addicted to methamphetamine. And then they needed to bring in a drug to calm them down, basically, right? Because meth makes them really zooey, right? And so heroin started to replace meth. And then, of course, they needed the organs, and they needed an excuse to blame the addict for the deaths by, you should have known better, and so they brought in the fentanyl to, one, get rid of people off the welfare rolls, as well as snag in the shemays, right, to bring in the organs, okay? And that's just the reality of it, people. So, does that mean that the Fiji dude coming in from Fiji that needs a declaration of something shouldn't be entitled to a break? No. So, I have to get up on this stuff that this board director wants me to do, and so that he can build on the foundation, right? I don't know if he watches my videos. I don't know if his son watches my videos. I don't know if his wife or his friends watch my videos. One day I won't be alive, so it won't really matter, because whoever's in charge in those days can talk on and be free and say what they want to say to bring about change. So, being that I'm griping on about everybody cutting down trees and grapes and, and all this other stuff, well, today we got some good news. That grapevine over there so far is protected because the lady of the house has decided that she wants those grapes, right? And so for next year, she's going to make it so that they produce even more. And I told her husband, you keep it up, you can make money. Or at least you can save money, right? Women don't necessarily care about money. We just like the bounty, right? Men, they like the profit, right? They like the reward of their harvest, but he likes raisins, so that's a good thing. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I don't need a grapevine on both sides of the fence. All I need to do is worry about what's on my side of the fence and make sure that the vine continues to grow, at least for now, so that on both sides of the fence, everybody's happy, right? So, with that said, like I said, I'm kind of a little jittery today because I was using the skill saw, right? And I was this sledgehammer, hammering in those posts, right? And I was out there all day, pulling shit and lifting shit and just doing that shit, right? I have no aches and pains, no muscle pains, but just a little jittery because it's so labor intensive. So what's going to happen today is I'm going to, bulk up the raisins, put some more into the trays, and then we're going to just see how it goes by this afternoon. I don't know if I'm going to make it outside. I'm thinking it might be just better to get up first thing in the morning. In the old days, I used to be able to do 2, 3, 4 days in a row. Now, obviously, I did one day, and I'm like, do you really want to be climbing up and down ladders and, bringing out the saws? And because now it's like getting more into the garage. I still have to clear out that corner over there, right? So, all week, right? This is what's gonna happen. I told Tisha, for the next 3-4 weeks, right? But I still have to do this stuff too. So other than that, I don't know. So we're going to be bringing in a new program. I have to find some time to start writing it down. I just have to get the rough draft. He can fill in the blanks. Then what I should do is I should write it out by hand, right? Since I don't have a printer. I can just take a few hours, write it out by hand, right? Make sure I write nice and clear so he can read it, right? And, what do you call it? Then give him the copy and he can fill in the blanks, and then I can fine tune it and then type it out for him. And then he offered to buy me a new printer. I said no, or not a new printer, to reformat the computer. He said he'd pay for it. I said no, it's just an expense that we don't need at this point, right? There's other things that, like the foundation, for example, almost owes me almost 30 grand, people. What's he gonna do when I take it to him and I say, look, here's the last update was $27,000 that the foundation owes me on the low ball. On the low ball. In other words, I didn't claim everything, people. Right? And now with the few years gone since I've done books, you're probably looking at 30 grand, right? I'm going to say, look, how can you get me back my 30 grand? That would be handy. Right? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, people. So it's the same day after my gripe. Okay, so I did my little gripe, my grapes and gripes. Right? Gripe. One gripe. And anyway, that's where I'm at right now. You can see, right? Lots to do. So obviously I'm going to get this done. Still have to cook up the jelly or the syrup. But got to move things along. I need my trays. So these ones here are done now. These are my saltine raisins. Natural. Completely organic. So now I'm going to take out the ones that aren't. Now you understand why I'm separating them into different sizes. That's a fair amount just from 4 small trays. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to find some juice jars, because I have that so-called vacuum sealer for jars, only it's the small rim. So I'm going to vacuum seal some of these jars depending on how many I get. So hold on. And you can see I'm dehydrating over here too. Right? This is what annoys Tisha. She has to walk by and listen to it and see it, and it piles up, right? But she doesn't stop to think about how much organic raisins cost. Okay, people. So now it's August 4th, 2019. Just my coffee, please. Andre's already started to saw it with his saw.
Where do you want me to put it, on this?
Just on Betsy. Thanks. I can't see shit. What happened to Fertile Myrtle? So at some point today, it's recycling, so I'll start putting those in there, right? Clean up in here, you see? Right? So some of this boards is going to repair this. Some of this I'm probably going to use just as a flooring. These are going back inside, so I'll wash and spray them. I'll need them. Something in here, right? Huh? And then, because I've got the skill saw out. Yeah, hold on. Because I have the skill saw out, get on with doing some repairs. Oh, those pumpkins. Right. Measure, I don't know. This is sliding, so I'll have to move that. This, I don't know how to cut it, but I'm thinking. Yeah, hold on, I'm coming. This is Sierra's crap. All rocks in there, people. Look at this. She makes it so freaking hard for me, man. Look at this. Like, I don't know how she lifts this. I can't even lift it, people. Like, honest to God. Like, this is so heavy. I mean, she's just burying it. It's stupid. So, I am going to clear out in here and make it so that she has a place for her fucking rocks. Because it never stops. Oh, yeah. These should have went up before they did those, because it would have fit perfect, pretty much. Now it's too small. Not by much. I'd have to cut it. So I gotta figure out a way. So what I'm gonna do, because this is plastic, it's a little more durable, right? Because what's happening, people, is this stuff is flaking off. It's like disgusting. Like you can see, whole boards have already come off. All right. So I'm gonna try and cover up as much as I can, and then so overlay. I don't know. I won't know until I get the ladder up there and see. It'll be better than this shit. Okay? Because this is what I'm dealing with. So, do that first. Worry about this part later. Right? Oh, yeah, seriously. It looks like something at one point had a nest up in there a long time ago. That was a long time ago, though. And since we're doing all this, I'm going to pull out the paints. And Andre and I, we're going to start maybe painting, right? And then at the end, get rid of all the old paint cans. I'm taking this out to the front because this is for the big pond. The wood that...
Hey.
Yeah, good for the fire.
Yep.
So, but we need a container, so I'm going to get on it, people. Hold on.
Okay, red.
Okay.
Okay, people, so I'm gonna cut up that big piece of wood there, sticking out.
Yeah, why?
Because we got it.
What are we doing?
We're gonna cut wood today, and then we're gonna build
What are we building? Garden bed.
a garden bed.
And well, first it's a compost that's going to be turned into a raised garden bed.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay, here you go.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Andre wants to show you. He's already been sawing.
With my work glasses.
Yes.
Hey, here we go.
You're getting some good foot action in there.
Oh, you scared me now.
Oh, we need the tripod. We'll today at some point we'll drag out the tripod so that we can just put the camera on the tripod once in a while.
Well, I can go get it soon.
No, you wouldn't know where it is.
Where is it?
Never mind. Okay, look at that. Look at that, people.
Man, this guy's tough.
That's my second shift. Do you see all that? Now, take out this damn morning glory.
Okay, now it's recording. You tell.
Oh, what am I doing? What
Cutting wood.
We're making posts.
Post.
Yeah. Posts, right? Right?
Yep.
Because we're building up what? A compost bed.
Yep.
And then that bed's going to turn into a garden. Hey, there's a big ass knot there, so I don't know how that's gonna cut through. This man went through a knot. That's why it was doing that. Right?
Yep.
Right. Gotta watch these
Be
nails.
careful with that nail there.
I know. Oh, I didn't see that one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's one right here too, but I think I can go around it. Let's go right there. Ah. Almost done. Ah. Whoa! Ah. Your camera's over there. Camera's over there. Oh, it's the man tools. Andre and I, we got the man tools out. Hey, Andre?
Yeah.
You can turn that off now. Be careful. That's pretty spot on.
It's really hot now.
It's really hot. That's because there's energy. Huh? You're running energy through the post. You're doing really good, Andre.
Huh?
You're doing really good. That's spot on.
Yeah.
Just remember, if you miss, you're going to hit your leg, so... Yeah, you see? I'm surprised he can even lift that thing.
Okay, maybe.
That thing is heavy. I had to get it in there initially. Very good. Look at that. You're not even missing it. Okay.
Okay, people. So, I'm taking a video of the kittens today. Hold on. Okay, people. So, you see, I'm taking a video of the kittens now. There's King, Fuzzball, Fuzzy. Hey. Sit. Fuzzball, come over here. Come over here, go. Sniff. Sniff. Good girl. Good girl. Good boy. You see, this one's just really calm. Oh, them right there. Here's the football. See this cat's turning white? Can I show them? See? It's turning white. Yeah, you can't see it yet. Then there's Fuzzy. Here's Fuzzy. Bye. Okay, so look. Fuzzball and Kane are just chilling. They're sitting down together. That one's just walking around. Then Kane goes over there to sniff. And then Fuzzball's just looking. Hey, Fuzzball. Hey. I got my eye on you, little fella. And here's Fuzzy. You have to stay over there. Your brother and sister. And then she goes back. Okay, what about Then Kane's just looking himself. So that's all they're gonna do. They're actually gonna stay here for a little bit. Chill. We're gonna chill. I'm gonna chill with them. You see? They really like me. Football. I have to put on one at a time. See? See there. See? There's King. Here, King. And, Fuzzball's right here, chilling too. And there's Fuzzy. Good girl. Good boy. I mean, good girl. And then, that's it. Bye, people. See you tomorrow.
Okay, people, so now it's, what is it, September 5th, 2019. I'm going to finish up with this video just because, you know, they can get long. But do you see my raisins? Those are my raisins, people. That's looking good. So what's happening now is the owner of the home next door is showing an interest in the grapes. So this is good, because if they care about the grapes, right? Hold on a minute. Oh yeah. Here is, this is more like a syrup, because if you look, do you see how it moves inside versus that other one? But it's thick, right? And what I did is, what do you call it? I cooked it up. I had 12 cups, 13 cups of sugar. And then because I wanted those little grapes inside, you know, I cooked the grapes up gently in a separate pot. And then if you can see, they're in there. I don't know if you can see it. But anyway, I put them in there, and it changed the consistency of it, right? And then over here, if you notice, I noticed this. Look at the color. Do you see the color? Do you see the color? Right? Do you see the color? That's the jam. Okay, jam set good. Right? But because I was making jelly with the same grapes, look at the color. Right? It came out like a blackberry, like a deep red. Right? Do you see the difference? Maybe if we could put a light on it. Shaky from yesterday. Do you see the difference? And I put berries in there, and because I put berries in there when it was ready to set, right? Because everything changed, and I wanted those little berries in there. You can see they're in there. Well, no, they're not berries, but grapes, right? Right? It changed the consistency, and even though I cooked it for a bit more, it didn't set like a jelly. It set more like a syrup there. Do you see them? But that's okay. It's still preserved. It's fine. But I just wanted to point out the color and difference in color, right? So, hold on a minute.